The following is an absolute value equation. We want to solve this problem involving these two absolute values being equal to each other. So we have the absolute value of 2x minus 1 equals the absolute value of 3x plus 5. When you're dealing with two absolute values being equal to each other, your first step is to divide this up into two separate problems. Remember that if you have an absolute value of a variable equal to some number, for instance, let's say 2, then let's think about what two problems would solve that, what two values would solve this equation. If we did the absolute value of 2, we would get 2. So that would work. X can equal 2. Likewise, if we did the absolute value of negative 2, that would still equal 2. So x equals 2 and negative 2 would solve this original problem we started with, meaning that there's a positive and a negative solution. The same is true in this type of problem. There is a positive solution and a negative solution to work toward. So let's start with the positive one, and that's when each side remains positive. 2x minus 1 equals 3x plus 5. So basically just dropping both absolute values and setting the sides equal to each other will give us our positive solution. Not meaning that x is positive, just that each side of the equation is positive. There is also the possibility of the negative side, so one side being negative, or the negative solution. And that is when we take one side, so let's just say the 2x minus 1, and we set it equal to the negative of the other side. So negative times 3x plus 5. This is equivalent to when we set the negative 2 inside of the absolute value. With both of these problems, we can solve for each value of x that will solve this original absolute value equation. So we can begin solving for x. The first thing we'll do on this left one is move the smaller x to the other side. So we'll subtract 2x from each side to get negative 1 equals x plus 5. And then to get x alone, we'll subtract 5 from each side to get x equals negative 6. And now from here, we'll move to the other side with the negative solution. We're going to first distribute this negative to each term because they're being added together in the parentheses. So we get 2x minus 1 equals negative 3x minus 5. So from here we can move the smaller x term to the other side, so we're going to add 3x to each side, giving us 5x minus 1 equals negative 5. We will then add 1 to each side to get our 5x alone, giving us 5x equals negative 4. And finally, dividing each side by 5 gives us x equals negative 4/5. Notice both of our answers are negative. So this idea of setting one side negative and leaving the other side positive does not mean you will get a positive and negative solution. It just means that when you're dealing with absolute values, there will be the case that both sides are left positive, and then the case where one side is left negative, like we demonstrated with this problem here, where one side became positive 2, and then again where the other side became negative 2. So x equals negative 6 and x equals negative 4/5 are the two solutions to the original problem.